When it comes to teaching on Zoom as opposed to in person, and I know how much you travel. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's a lot, or it used to at least. What is the downside of doing this on Zoom? What's the challenge?
There is an element of being face to face with other human beings that is lost. Now, when you're sending an email, it's down here. When you're on the phone, it goes up. When you're on video, it goes up even more. When we're face to face, then you're seeing my full body language. You're hearing the escalation of my voice even just a little bit clearer. So you're going to lose some of that. You're definitely going to lose. But what I'm realizing is, and this is true with you, Brian, like you and I met face to face, we know each other. So therefore, as soon as we get on, even if you send me a text that says, hey, Jocko, I'm going to be in San Diego. You don't need to say, hey, Jocko, sorry to interrupt you. I hope everything is okay. I hope your family's doing well. I saw your latest book came out. And by the way, I'm in San Diego and I was wondering, you don't need to say all that stuff to me because we know each other. We've met face to face. It's all good. You can text me and say, hey, I'm going to be in San Diego. Can we do an interview? And I go, cool. Sounds good. If we don't know each other and we got to cover this, you wouldn't send me a text that just is so direct like that. So you do lose some of that. But if we have some kind of an established relationship, I think that these connections that we can make over video is very powerful. And I've given this advice to yours because we work with all kinds of companies that have global organizations, and they'll say, hey, how do I establish a relationship with my subordinate leader who's 10,000 miles away? And I say, well, look, you're going to need to over communicate. And one of the things you need to do is, if you can, set up video conferencing so they can see you, they can interact with you, and they can get to know you better. Now, I was working for the SEAL Admiral. I was the Admiral's aide. And there was a meeting at the Pentagon. We were in San Diego, California. There was a meeting at the Pentagon, a big meeting with an important decision to be made. And his boss said, you know what? You don't need to fly out for this meeting. I know what your stance is, and I get it, but we'll just do it over video. So we didn't fly out. We did the meeting over video. The decision ended up not going the way my boss wanted it to go. And we got off the line, and my boss was a great guy. He was a very charismatic, and even more than charismatic, he was a very friendly and connecting person. So when people talked to him face to face, he could connect with them very well. We got off that meeting and he hung up and he said, I'll never miss a meeting like that again. And I took it into account. But what I'm seeing now is you can close that delta. I think you can close that delta. And I think if he would have continued to do video meetings, he would have gotten more and more comfortable with it over time, as would his boss. His boss would realize, when we're in the room together right now, Brian, you might have wanted to interrupt me, 45 seconds ago, or maybe even 3 minutes ago at this point. It's going to be a little awkward if you do that. There's a little hesitation. So we have to learn, I have to learn, okay, I've been talking for a while. I need to take a pause to make sure I'm going in the right direction, that Brian doesn't have something to say. So we get better at this. And I think that that's what happens. I think that's what is happening across the world right now. My mom and dad, who are elderly, they had Easter supper with me and my family over Zoom. And it's like people are getting more comfortable with this technology. So I think it's a great thing. I think people will learn how to close the gap a little bit, learn how to operate through this medium in a very positive way. And I think it's going to end up being a good thing for the world.